Now, pay attention. All right, now I kind of said try to do the left column as much as you can. So let's see how good you did. All right, and then we'll just go through it and kind of ask me questions if you need to. When we did the factoring out the GCF, anybody have any questions with 1 through 7? 1 through 9. Any questions there? What?
Number 3. Oh yeah, never mind.
Anybody else? Right there on this section. All right, now as I'm going down, let's take a look right there. Take a look at it. And let's just, somebody give me the answer to number 4. Number 4? What is it? A minus 5. Then what about 14? 7x minus 1 squared. All right, let's take a look at number 6, just to make sure. 9x squared minus 6x plus 1 would be? Come on, help me.
3x minus 1 squared.
Yes, 3x minus 1 squared. Everybody okay with that?
Yes.
All right, let's practice a couple more. 7.
5x plus 1 squared.
Okay, you guys should all be pretty quick at this now. What about 8?
Minus 7.
All right, here we go. 9. What about 10?
2 minus 5. 2y.
16. Good job. What about 17?
B plus 1 squared.
All right, here we go. 18.
6 plus 6. No. 6x plus 7 squared. I'm sorry.
6x plus 7 squared.
And then 9 minus x squared. And then 3 minus 2 squared.
You can have 2 minus 3y squared, or you can have 3y minus 2 squared. They don't look the same, but guess what?
Yeah.
All right, so I'm pretty happy with that. Listen, you're not really going to see number 12. All right. Tell me about 13, somebody.
It'll be x plus y. No, x plus y, x minus y. Oh, yeah. Oh, no, wait, what? Yeah, I was x plus y squared on what you were saying. Yeah. Well, first off,
Yes.
Oh, the entire left column, right?
We're just practicing right now.
I left out one section, that's it.
Right? Daniel, you okay with that? We're just practicing. I'm going to ask you more questions on anything you have trouble with, okay? All right, but I'm just trying to test you a little bit right now. All right, everybody tell me about the answer to 16.
3a minus 4 squared.
Everybody okay with that? Okay. Now, 17 is the tricky one.
Oh,
So somebody tell me what I have to do first.
you have to pick out the track. So you do A and then then put the rest of it, which would be 4a squared.
Well, what is that called, though? Taking out the, or finding the GCF. Thank you very much. You're factoring out the GCF. So the first thing you're going to do is put down a 4a, and then you will notice that it's a squared plus 2a plus 1. Are those perfect squares? So it's what?
4a
Which is 4 times a plus 1 squared. Everybody okay with that? Everybody all right? Anybody have any issues? Okay, let's take a look at now when the leading coefficient is a 1, this should be pretty easy for you. Alright? Now, I'm going down the right side again. That should be pretty easy. So, somebody tell me, number 12. Good job. X minus 3 what? X minus 3, x plus 2. That's what I'm hoping you can do. Number 13. Good job. Y plus 6, y minus 3. Somebody else now for 14. Perfect. Very good. All right, what about 15, please? 16. Sorry. All right, we're checking out 17 now, somebody. Maybe read me 17. So it would be x minus 12. X plus 3. 18.
Y plus 7, y minus 3.
$19. What do I got? Come on, tell me the factors. Don't just tell me 25 and 3. X minus 25 and x plus 3. 20.
X minus 8, x plus 5.
Beautiful. All right. Now, if the y squared is positive, my recommendation is just rewrite it. Y squared plus 14y plus 45. So what does that equal, please?
Y plus 9, y plus 5.
Beautiful. And finally,
X minus, x minus 3.
what is it?
X minus 12, x minus 3. No,
wait, no.
So, x. That wouldn't work. It wouldn't work.
Yeah, x minus 9.
4 and 9.
X minus 4, x minus 9.
That was quick, Walker. Thank you.
I already answered it.
I know she did.
It didn't joke because Walker goes, oh, 4 and 9.
All right, here we go. We are going to let the fun continue.
No.
All right.
Stop the fun.
So let's take a look at number 12. Everybody take a look at number 12. I don't care about 11 right now. So number 12. Think it through.
Oh, 12.
Oh, 8 minus 12. Wait, 8 minus 12,
A
8 minus 2.
2.
I got it.
You forgot the B. You forgot the B.
A minus 12. A minus 12. I put in your page.
Everybody okay with that? A minus 12B and A minus 2B. Now the factors of 72 that make 6.
12 and 6.
Very good. So that would be.
1 plus 12, 1 minus 6.
Good job. Next.
X 12 and
X minus 15, X plus 4.
Say it again.
X minus 15, X plus 4.
Say it again.
X minus 15, X.
It's not right. He keeps asking me this again because it's not right.
X plus
Why? Why is it there?
Say it, Walker.
X minus 15, Y. Oh, wait, there's Y there.
Beautiful. Thank you, Walker. All right. Somebody help me out with 15.
Gotta switch them around and around.
15,
Plus
let's
5,
go.
7,
I want the factors.
5 and 3.
I want the answer.
Oh, the X plus 5, X minus 3. No, no, wait, you have to add the other. Oh, the X's and negative. S plus 5 or S minus 3 are. No, wait, that doesn't work. One, no, it doesn't.
I'm on 15.
Oh, you switched the sign.
Say it, Daniel. Tell him. No. I want the answer to 15.
I got
The answer to 15 is not switch the signs. McConnell, go. Is not an answer.
5 minus X, 3R plus X.
Probably not. That is correct. He's always right. Okay, 16. Ooh, good job, kiddo. This one is a little bit harder because you're supposed to recognize the GCF is what? What is the GCF? Which is 3. You got to factor out a 3.
So it's 5. I don't like this. So it's a 2.
What? So now who's going to factor that?
Okay. I got 3 times.
Come on, quick, let's go.
X minus 9, X minus 3. No, that doesn't work. That doesn't work.
3 parentheses X minus 2 parentheses X.
Okay, I'll just put that up there.
Y's. There's Y's.
I hate Y's.
And there's Y's.
Why is there a Y?
Okay, scroll down. Here we go. 11 through 20. 11 through 20.
Yeah. I don't care. Wait, that's not. Two plus 7, 2 and minus 2.
Minus 7 plus 2.
Now remember, you're doing your smiley faces to double
I
check.
get messed up when people speak. We'll go at different times.
No, I hate when people speak.
No, but I mean, like,
Are you hearing yourself? Listen to yourself. I hate when people speak. As you're talking, you're saying you don't like when people talk.
You like the sound of your own voice.
All
I
right,
have the next one.
here we go. I am on 13.
5n plus 7.
13. I'm on 13. Is 13 prime? Somebody thinks 13 is prime. Let's take a look at it.
Wait,
Yes, because that would be that. So it's prime.
I'm not suggesting it is or it isn't.
Oh, it's prime.
Let's find out. Let's do a little work to find out. 5x and 2x. Now, with 30, you can do 6 and 5. But 6 and 5 don't do what? Well, but I have to put the 6 somewhere, so the 6 would have to go on the left, and the 5 would have to go on the right. So let's see what that is. Is that good? So if the 25 is positive and the 12 is negative, it does in fact work. All right. Now, listen up. It's really not necessary, but I do want to go ahead and say, people, you should know that pretty quickly that 12 is prime, right? Because they're both positive. So with the 7, there's no way to make 2. Right? So be careful with that. All right, I want to take a look at number 15. Everybody's looking at 15. 2 sets of parentheses.
Plus 5 minus 1. Yeah. 2 and minus 1 and plus 5.
2 and what?
Minus 1 and then plus 5.
Yes, I can live with that. All right, everybody taking a look at 17. Girls. Right up here. We're on 17 now. 17. Hold on. I'm on 17. What is it?
I think I have it 5a plus 3 and a minus 9. I found that all by myself.
Good. Okay, you doing okay? All right, tell me about 19. Okay, I'm listening. Yeah, 19. I'm A's. I'm on A's. I'm on 19.
I got 4a plus 3, 2a plus 1. And minus. The other way around. Subtract. 4a minus 1, 2a minus 1.
4a
minus 3, 2a minus 1.
negative 3 or negative 6 and negative 4 makes negative 10. Yes. All right. Pretty good. All right, let's scroll down a little bit. All right. Now, listen for a second. 9 through 16 are very similar to what? 11 through 20. Now, I just gave these just for practice. All right? So if you want some fresh problems you haven't seen before, you should look those through. Everybody with me on that?
Yes.
I want to scroll down to the next section, which has to do with factoring completely, which just basically means you're going to factor twice. So here we go. I want everybody to look at number 2.
Moving back over.
And I'm at 2x squared plus 8x plus 6. So what is common? 2. So we have to pull out the 2 first. And I end up with x squared plus 4x plus 3. Now, we should be very good at this stage. So you should be able to look at that and tell me the answer is.
2 and parentheses x plus 1. Yeah, x plus 3.
Yes, don't be sorry. Good job. X plus 3. Okay? Now we're on number 4. Again, what's common? 2. All right, so let's pull out a 2.
Minus 13x minus 10.
Okay.
2.
And now we're going to factor that.
2 times 3x plus 2 and then x minus 5.
2 times what?
3x plus 2 and then x minus
And again, I just think you guys should get in the habit of checking. There's 2x and negative 15, which makes the negative 13. Everybody okay with yes, sir?
I did these last night and I forgot to do that part. The first step. Oh yeah, I just did all of them.
Yeah, it's kind of annoying if you don't do that. Do you agree?
Yeah.
That's a good lesson, though, because again, the first thing I try to tell everybody, the first thing you should do is, even if it doesn't say, is say, factor out the GCF. Look for a greatest common factor. Look for a greatest common factor. All right, so now I would like to look at over here. I would like everybody to look at number 10. All right, does everybody see number 10 I have a problem with, right? Yeah. The reason why I have a problem with number 10 is because it's not in the right order. Does everybody agree? Yeah. So I'm going to write it in the right order first. So question number 10, I'd like for you to say it's 2x cubed, 12x squared, plus 18x. Now, what's common now? 2x. And now, here we go. Is everybody okay with that? 2x times the parentheses x plus 3 squared. That was number 10. Everybody happy with that? All right, let's look at 15 for a quick second. 15. What is common on 15? Now, it's hard to see that 147 is divisible by 3, but if you add the digits up, you will see that that's 12, so that makes it divisible by 3. So 3 times 49, I believe, is 147. So you factor out a 3, you end up with x squared. Everybody agree with that? Bless you. And then that itself becomes a perfect square.
7.
Good job, guys. For those of you guys who are seeing that, that's very good. Yes, sir. Okay, he'd like me to do 11, so I'm going to go back and try 11. Oh, this is actually a very good decision. Look at everybody. Take a look at number 11 now.
Oh.
So the first thing I want you to notice, Casey, did you pull out a 2x? Very good with that. Now, 1 minus y squared is the difference of squares. You with me on this? So the middle term cancels out. So it's got to be 1 plus y and 1 minus y. Do you agree with that or not? Everybody seeing that?
Yeah.
Okay, so I really want to talk now some about if you scroll down here on the next one, just cross out 8 through 14. I really don't want you trying those. Those are a little bit more advanced. That's for when you take your Algebra 2 class in a couple of years. All right, it's not that difficult, but if I had some more time, if we had an extra day, I'd probably go through those with you just to show you that it's not really that hard. Okay? Now, what? So what do you think it is?
Y squared plus x, y squared minus x, y squared plus x.
Well, your biggest mistake right now is you didn't factor out a GCF. So factoring out the GCF, there's a common x squared. Well, you didn't tell me you'd factor it out. The first thing is it's x squared, open parentheses, y to the 4th minus x to the 4th. Everybody see that? Now that is the difference of squares. So again, watch. This is as hard as it gets. X squared, open, that would be y squared plus x squared and y squared what? Minus x squared. Now, if you were average, you would be done. Because we're not average, all right, we know that y squared minus x squared, that also factors. All right, so in this case, the final answer worked out to be x squared times y squared plus x squared times y plus x times y minus x. And I'd explain it over. Remember, the addition sign will not factor. You can't factor if it's two terms with addition. You cannot factor if it's two terms with addition. Everybody see that? All right, that was very hard. All right, it's not even going to be anywhere close to that hard. All right, but it's important. Listen, but it's important for you to say, yeah, I kind of see that. All right. So now we're going to factor by grouping. All right, we're going to factor by grouping. Now, for this factoring by grouping, what I did is I did 1, 3, 4, and 7 with my class. So what I'm going to do now is we'll just do some of the evens. And again, the factoring by grouping, all right, because there's a little more room involved, I'm going to go ahead and just copy this and put it up here so we can practice. All right. Yeah, good idea. All right. So what's common here, guys? Remember, you got to factor by grouping. So do this for me and this for me. All right, is everybody with me? Now, I'm going to factor out. Wow.
I moved my stuff around.
Yeah, that's very smart, Walker.
I was looking at the example, so that's how I did.
Right, so look right here. See, the problem is nothing in the first set of parentheses or the second set of parentheses. In other words, the A and the B are misplaced. So it's not going to be this hard tomorrow either. All right? But I'm just showing you. That was a very good observation. So if you did it this way, watch. 3a squared minus 6a minus 2b plus ab. If you reorder it, now look what happens. All right? If you knew to do that, that's outstanding. All right? Now you're going to factor by grouping, and you can pull out a what?
Oh,
3a, right?
Yeah.
So if I pull out a 3a, I'm left with a minus 2. And then I'm going to factor out b. Yeah, I shouldn't have done this. This is a positive b here. So then you're left with negative 2 plus a, which is the same as what?
A minus
a
two.
minus 2. So then it's a minus 2 times 3a plus b. All right, I really shouldn't have done that one. I should have seen it. All right, number 2. Let's find one we can do real quick. Let's check out number.
No, 7. 6. 11. 6.
Just let me go through and look at it. Let's take a look at number 8. Let's see how 8 works out. All right, let's see. I think this one works out. All right, so factoring by grouping again. We know it's grouping because there's 4 terms. All right, what do I factor out of the first set? N. And so I'm left with n plus 2, right? Then I factor out a what?
A 3M.
A 3m. A positive 3m. What's left behind?
N plus
Yeah, n plus 2. And so now what's common?
N plus 2, N plus 3.
Good. All right. I want everybody to do 13 now. Bless you. Let's do 13 together. All right, so for 13, again, you're factoring by grouping. So what's common? All right, x squared, what's left behind? And then you're factoring out a, and what's left behind? All right, guys, now this one's a tricky one, so please listen. So what do I pull out? Bless you. X plus 1, I'm left with x squared minus 1, but yeah, you can factor out which one? X squared minus 1. So technically it is x plus 1 and then for those of you guys who are smart, you would write it as that's not hard. All right.
Oh, I see that.
Now, last one. Let's take a look at 14. Let's see how you're doing with 14. Yep. All right, so for 14, again, factoring by grouping. What am I factoring out first? A squared, what's left behind? What am I factoring out next? Negative 8, which makes it a minus 1. Is that good? Okay, and now what's common? The a minus 1. And you're left with a squared minus 8.
Factor it.
Very good. You cannot. All right, you cannot factor that. The reason why you cannot factor that is because 8 is not a perfect square. All right. In the future, you will be able to factor that in your Algebra 2 class, but right now we don't know much about square roots, so we're going to leave that alone. Everybody okay with this?
Yeah.
All right. Now, I think we're almost out of time, correct?
Yeah, we have 1 minute.
So listen to me for a second. Listen, I'm trying to get you started off on the right foot. So, does everybody agree we did a lot of work?
Yeah.
Okay, so here is what I'm going to ask you to do. Tomorrow, I'm not going to look at your iPad. If you print out this worksheet with all the work that you did, I will give you a bonus from 0 to 10 points. What did I just say? Come on now, you guys are smart. I said you will get a bonus from what? 0 to 10. So depending on how much work you've done, I will decide on my own without any complaints if you get 5 points or 2 points or no points or 7 points or 10 points. All right, but does everybody agree I'm not looking at your iPad? All right, so again, don't worry about it being small. All right, the reason why I don't worry about it being small because I really can honestly tell who's working and who's not. All right, so do as much as you can. All right, but I just feel like it's such repetition. So I understand if you get the easy factoring, you just apply that to the what? The harder factoring. It looks harder, but guess what? It's not. Especially if you learn the little smiley face, you learn to check your answers. All right, is everybody with me? You can't come to class and say, oh, I'm so sorry, I forgot. All right, make yourself a note. Put it somewhere. All right, how much time before the bell rings?
3 minutes.
All right, so if you have 3 minutes now, pull out your phone and make yourself an alarm, set yourself an alarm, and say, hey, don't forget to print out your algebra worksheet before you leave the house. Listen to me. Miss Linda is not going to print out all of these. You understand there's a lot of paper here. Right? You don't have to print out the solutions either. Everybody hear me on that?
Yeah.
Everybody listening? There's no reason to print out the solutions. The solutions are another 4 or 5 pages, I think. Everybody hear me?
Yes, sir.
No, I can't help you tomorrow. If you want some extra credit, start out really well.
I want to get it.
All right.
Wait, what if